Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So this is a work in progress video on my Crusader for this season 26, an Arcane Thorn Bombardment Crusader. I'm taking my character to Greater Rift 102, GR 102, which is not really that simple. It can be quite challenging. And it's a two back-to-back video with the highlight of my how I did my GR 102. So if I look at the leaderboard, of course, solo Crusader leaderboard is not going to be that fantastic because look, I mean, the Arcane build is not the top build. The Aegis of Valor is, but I don't really enjoy the kind of gameplay. So it only put me to around 726 rank for the solo Crusader. But from the Arcane perspective, I get to 178 with just two ancient being augmented. So that I think there's still a lot of potential to go up there at the Arcane leaderboard. Not looking at the solo Crusader leaderboard because I know for sure this build is not as good as the Aegis of Valor, like I said. So I'm happy. GR 102, I managed to get to about 4 minutes and 22 seconds time. So I think it's rather decent, I would say. But I'm keen to see how far I can push the build to. Just a little bit of context again. I mean, I always like to show you the context, and I can check towards the end of the video when I show you my gears as well. I've got 9 ancient out of 13 slots, which is decent, I would say. It's very hard to get all ancient for a Thorn build because I have to balance a few stats, right? I need to balance the cooldown reduction until you hit a certain kind of sweet spot. I'll talk a little bit about that in just a bit. And I need to ensure that I've got enough survivability kind of stats as well because I'm Thorn build, right? People hit me, they get hurt. So I need to put myself out there and get hit by them sometimes. So that is one. And I've got to have a decent amount of Thorn as well, and that usually comes as a secondary stat. So you almost have to roll a perfect primary stats that you have, meaning that the 4 stats that you want, affixes that you want, and then you could actually roll the secondary stat to Thorn if you are not using an invoker. You're using any other items as 11 slots outside the 2 invoker set that you may be using. So that is pretty challenging. And sometimes if you do have Thorn, to have the at least 3 decent primary stats so that you can enchant another one, and to sum up to all this, you have an ancient item as well that make it really challenging to gear, right? Because normally you don't need to think about the secondary stats, which is the one that's below the primary one. So it makes gearing a lot more challenging. But also if you manage to get the balance right, it is very rewarding as well. My cooldown reduction, I get it down to 59.67%. Now what it means is that I am more or less being able to fire off the bombardment manually through the physical cycle of the conversion of elements. So as you can see, the conversion element, which is the hotbar below, it keeps changing from fire to say holy, and then to lightning, and then to physical, right? So if I am able to get the cooldown reduction down to 59% or 0.3%, I should be able to get it every 16 seconds. I get to pop that physical bombardment, which is extra above and beyond those bombardment that get land randomly or every 4 seconds from the Belt of Trove belt item that you may have cube into your Canine cube. So I mean, that's decent. My Crusader's block chance is 71%. So that is also decent because the blocking does magic as well. and with my ring, half of my blocking chance become damage reduction. So that further make my character a bit more tanky, I would say. I've got about 260,000 Thorn unbuff. Still not the best yet. You can still add a bit more with the secondary stat of some of the item, but I do need to balance between having an ancient and put a legendary gem on it, augmentation. The kind of like a trade-off. So yeah, I mean that is that's one thing. And I've got 9 out of 13 slot, which is ancient. So that is pretty good. I'm happy with what I've got so far. 2 augmentation. So by doing a bit more echoing nightmare, which is for this season, I can get some really nice dam by not having to level up the dam through the traditional GR route. I'm happy, right? Because I can have another so-called 7 items being augmented pretty fast once I get down to playing the echoing nightmare. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy with this Thorn build. A lot of time, as you can see, it does its own thing. I just need to keep the accurate champion uptime all the time, which I am, and I pop the iron skin as often as I can, which I do, and you can see that I've got a macro to do that. And on top of that, I got a second macro whereby I got to drop the manual bombardment at the physical cycle. So a little bit of like I can start with the macro 1, then switch to macro 2 at the physical cycle. And if I see that things are going out of sync, means I get into the fire cycle, then I need to switch it back to my macro 1 and then wait until the physical cycle kick in and I'll switch to macro 2. A little bit of like switching, but it make my life a lot more easier. And I used to think that spin to win is awesome, but I think that if I can just ride to win, then why not? I mean, it's even more awesome. I just move around. I don't even need to click a button to activate a ability. Bombardment just fall from the sky, or this barrel of thorn kind of buffed barrel which just fall from the sky. So I'm happy. As always, I'll give you more updates as I play further into this game. I'm hoping to push the leaderboard a little bit higher. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.